Hello everyone. Today, we'll be seeing how fast, or I guess how slow, Torkoal can beat Pokemon Sapphire in a solo run challenge. Let's get straight into the video. I decided to do something a little bit different. I decided, you know what, in the region with too much water, we should do two slow fire types. We'll be doing Torkoal today, and then later in the week, Camerupt. That's going to be a fun one. But anyway, let's see how Torkoal's going to do. If you look at our stats, we have 70 HP, 85 attack, 140 defense, 85 special attack, 70 special defense, and 20 speed. Yeah, we are essentially never going to outspeed anything. And we are in the medium fast leveling group, which isn't the best, but if this was the slow level up group, this would be so much worse. But at least our level up moveset is decent. We start off with Ember and Smog, so at least we start off with the same type attack bonus move. Then at level 7 we get Curse, which is going to be a great setup move. And then Smokescreen, Fire Spin, Body Slam, Protect, Flamethrower, Iron Defense, Amnesia, Flail, and Heat Wave. Flamethrower at level 30 is going to be massive. Plus level 20 Body Slam, that's going to be nice and early. That's going to be way before we ever get access to Return. And level 40 Amnesia will definitely come in handy when we face some water type specialists. But fortunately, those aren't going to come up for quite a while, and Team Aqua, their Pokemon really do not like having water moves, which is kind of funny. And believe it or not, our TM set is barely any longer than our level up set. The main moves we get are obviously the usual Hidden Power and Return, but we also get Iron Tail for some reason, as well as Flamethrower, Sludge Bomb, Fire Blast, Secret Power, and Overheat. So yeah, pretty much every fire move, a steel move, and for some reason this thing gets Sludge Bomb. It's really weird. I mean, it does get Smog by level up. Maybe like its little smoke things coming out of its shell are toxic, but I don't know. I don't think we're ever going to use Sludge Bomb though. But we should definitely have enough to suffice Torkoal's needs. One upsetting thing is because of how low our speed is, all of the random trainers are essentially just getting hits on me always, and I'm constantly having to remember to use potions. But while I'm doing the training, I do get access to Curse. But here's the thing though, the first gym leader is Roxanne, the user of rock types. Even though our defense is really high, we're not really going to be doing the best kind of damage with only Ember. So I want to make sure I fight all of the trainers before her if I can. After fighting all the trainers I can, I enter Rustboro City at level 12. I'm also going to go ahead and get the Quick Claw. I'm pretty sure I don't need to explain why this is going to be very important. And just before I enter Roxanne's gym and take on her gym trainers, I actually deposit my HM users, heal at the center, and buy some items from the mart. The effective plan is just to basically blackout train on Roxanne until I win. There's plenty of ways I could win. I could burn the Geodude, I could get crits, stuff like that. I could theoretically use Curse to take less damage from rock moves, but let's see how the Roxanne battles go. She leads off with a level 14 Geodude. She actually missed her very first Rock Tomb, and here's an unfortunate thing. Because of my ability White Smoke, Rock Tomb can never lower my speed, and if my speed never gets lowered, then the Geodude will continue to outspeed me and spam its most powerful move. And I don't end up beating the first Geodude. So yeah, that's a quick blackout. I decided before I continue, I should probably fight the remainder of the trainers just to the east of Rustboro City. There's not too many of them over here, but this should get me to a high enough level to where I can potentially consistently knock out the Geodude. Let's see. Fortunately, defeating those trainers gets me to level 15 over a damage rounding threshold. And now at this higher level, I now have the move Smokescreen. I can use this to actually make the rock tombs more likely to miss, and the effective plan is still the same as before. Just black out on her until I win. The main plan, use a few Smokescreens on the Geodude and the Nosepass, and slowly whittle it down with Ember. When I end up getting 4 blackouts overall in the playthrough, I end up beating Roxanne at level 17 because I burned the Nosepass, and that made its physical moves do hardly anything. So I'm able to defeat her and get my Stone Badge. Now I can rescue the Wingull from the Team Aqua Grunt, and now we can head down to Mr. Briny's cottage. And now we're at the point where we have to ask the age-old question, do we fight Brawly first, or delay him till later? We do not learn Bulk Up. We really don't have a good solution for him, because here's the other thing. His Makuhita has thick fat, so it essentially resists Ember. So yeah, I think I'm just going to continue on from this town. And then as soon as I get to Slateport Beach, I go ahead and fight some of the local trainers, but this one sailor with a Wingle completely devastated me with Water Gun, and I ended up blacking out all the way back to Rustboro. Oops. I ended up just skipping that guy and going straight to the soda house, although in between trainers, sometimes I do have to go back to the center and heal because some of these trainers have Meryl or Wingle, and it becomes very hard to knock them out when all you have is Ember. However though, in no time at all, I'm able to take out the soda house trainers, get some free Mountain Dew, and then we can clear out the Aqua Grunts in the Oceanic Museum. Then I can continue my way north up to Route 110 and defeat more of the local trainers. I don't think Wattson is going to be as hard because his ace Magneton is weak to fire moves, so I don't think it's going to be too bad, but I am still slow as dirt. And while I'm doing the training, I go withdraw my HM users because I'm actually going to do the trick house as well. I'm going to get the extra rare candy, plus I can fight the trainers as well. This is normally one of the very out of the way rare candies, but if I need the training anyway, may as well just do it, am I right? And with the trick house cleared out, we need to do what is usually a tricky battle in the Rival 2 fight. He leads off with Whalmer, and it does hit me with Water Gun, but fortunately Body Slam paralyzed it. Then on the Shroomish, I go for Ember, and then it stun spored me, so I ended up paralyzed either way. Then on the Combustion, I go ahead and use Body Slam, but I can't move because I'm paralyzed. And fortunately the next one hits, it gets a critical hit, but it ended up barely living that crit, which is kind of surprising. So yeah, I did end up getting low in health. The fight ended up being sort of close, but that's mainly because of how slow we are. I make my way up to Mauville City, fight a few more trainers along the east part because these trainers are mandatory anyway, so I may as well take them out before I do Wattson. And then I can also defeat the Winstrade family and actually get myself a Macho Brace. I'm actually going to hold this while doing more of the local trainers, so that way I can gain a ton of EVs really quickly, especially in things like Special Attack, Attack, and Speed. I mean, honestly, the Speed EVs aren't really going to matter at all. The Macho Brace is just a bonus. Because here's the thing, I'm underspeeding most foes anyway. With the Macho Brace in hand, I fight all the trainers on Route 117, and then in Verdendorf Town, I go ahead inside this little contest hall here, and I get myself the TM for Attract. This may end up coming in handy. I usually like to get this as a backup item. And then back in Mauville, I can completely crush Wally's dreams, and go ahead and take on the third gym leader, Wattson. This guy is going to get absolutely plummeted, because here's the thing, at level 30 is when I get Flamethrower. I got level 30 on the gym trainers here, and I'm able to one-shot the Magnemite, the Voltorb, and the Magneton as soon as I quit hitting myself. So yeah, all of that training was to make sure I had Flamethrower. I'm sure I could have won the fight without Flamethrower, but it'll definitely speed up a huge chunk of the game. Plus look at my EV spread now. 46 HP, 26 attack, 51 speed, 27 special attack. So yeah, the Macho Brace definitely gained me some nice stat points, I'll take it. While biking along to Fall Arbor Town, I do pick up the TM for Secret Power, however, we're not going to use it though. Body Slam is straight up better than Secret Power in every way. It's just Secret Power is more accessible for a lot of Pokemon. But fortunately we have a Body Slam user today, so no need for it. Plus, getting the TM here does let me purchase Hidden Power in Slateport, in case I want it a little bit earlier than Fortree. On Route 114, if you go behind this house right here, you can actually find some Persim berries. I go ahead and actually get some because there are actually a few fights where you can get hit with a Confusion move or with Swagger. For example, Wallace's Love Disc has Water Pulse and Sweet Kiss, which can cause confusion. Plus, some of the battles with Archie do have Swagger on the Mightyena, so they'll definitely help with those fights too. Because here's one of the major differences between Ruby and Sapphire and Pokemon Emerald. The move tutors from Pokemon Emerald do not exist in this game, so that means the substitute tutor in the Lily Cove department store from Emerald does not exist in this game. So items like Persim berries and Pecha berries are going to be far more important. But on the bright side, it does free up a move slot for a lot of Pokemon, because most Pokemon end up getting Substitute anyway, so at least we'll have an extra spot for an attacking move if we need it. But let's not worry about that, let's climb up Mount Chimney and go fight Archie. Archie leads off with his Mighty Yenna. White Smoke prevents Intimidate from working, but it's not like it matters, Flamethrower one-shots the Mighty Yenna. But then I realized I ran out of Flamethrowers, so I'm gonna have to defeat the rest of his team with Body Slam. But that's not a big deal though, although Rough Skin does kinda hurt. But if you saw the Sharpedo's moveset, it has no water type moves. I have no idea why Sharpedo gets like hardly any water moves by level up, it's just kinda nuts to me. But now with Archie defeated, we can make our way to Lava Ridge Town, get ourselves a Charcoal to boost the power of fire type moves by 10%. Either that or just sell it for vitamins, because it sells for $4,900. Now let's go take on Flannery. Flannery is one of the slowest gym leaders in this entire game. Her Slugma have only around 18 speed or so, and I can actually use one curse on her and still outspeed her whole team pretty much, which is kind of funny. But I do get one reset because Smog poisoned me. But I do end up getting a second and third curse in. I guess I'm just not really that scared of her. But once I get to +3 in attack, I go ahead and one-shot the Slugmas, and then the Torkoal has 24 speed. It hit me with Body Slam, but fortunately I did not get paralyzed, and now Flannery is gone. But now with Flannery defeated, before we can take on the 5th gym leader Norman, we need to go backtrack and take on Brawly. But first, I want to show off that I now have Protect on my moveset. I actually went back to Fall Arbor Town and got the TM for return for getting the Meteorite, plus I used the move relearner to teach Protect onto Torkoal since I had denied it earlier. This is going to be our way to completely cheesing the Norman fight. Let me show you why. Okay, for real, let's start Norman. Yeah, I don't think so. I know I keep putting you in false suspense, but I have to keep showing you more stuff, because that's what I like to do around here. I also get my daily dose of vitamins. And today's vitamin of the day is calcium. Protein are not going to be necessary, carbos are out of the question because of how low our speed is, so we definitely need more special attack. Okay, I promise for real this time. Let's go take on Norman. Norman leads off with his first slacking. I go ahead and use a turn 1 Protect because this is the turn he can attack. And then during the loafing turns, I can go ahead and use Curse. And since Protect is a priority move, no matter how many curses I use, I will always be able to block any hit he uses. This is actually kind of a cheesy strat. I kind of feel bad for doing this, but it's an awesome strat for sure. And here's the funny thing, at +4, the slacking actually survived. So yeah, I definitely should have gone to +6. Then on the Vigoroth, I decide to just use more Body Slams because there's no point in using Protect on it since it doesn't have Truant. Then on the slacking, I use Protect to block Focus Punch, and then during the loafing turn, I go ahead and use my second Body Slam, and then the second slacking is defeated. So yeah, apparently all I needed was +4. The +6 would have been a little bit overkill. But hey, Norman's defeated. I mean, so far we only have one single reset, which is actually kind of nice. This thing's doing better than I thought so far. I now have to walk my way all the way back to Mauville City, go through the jungly routes of Route 119, clear out the Weather Institute, defeat the rival here in great devastating fashion, and now we can go take on the flying type gym leader Winona. But before I do that though, I do go into this house and talk to this old lady, because if you solve her questions correctly, she does give you a copy of Hidden Power. This is normally where I like to get it so I don't have to buy it in Slateport. But that's fine though, I just got this as a backup just in case we needed move flexibility. And before we take on Winona, I realized I've been going way too quickly in this video. I forgot to go over our nature and stuff like that. We're running the mild nature, which is plus special attack minus defense, because our defense is far too high. We don't need all of that defense. And I've mentioned earlier, White Smoke prevents status drops from the opponent. It's essentially a clone of Clear Body. Plus, our hidden power typing is Hidden Power Ground. This is mainly needed for Steven, because without Hidden Power Ground, we're going to be in for an absolute world of hurt. but we'll worry about that when we get to Steven. Let's go take on the flying type gym leader, Winona. Winona leads off with her Swellow that does have double team, but all it did was just use Aerial Ice. Then on the Pelipper, it tries to use Supersonic on me, but fortunately it misses, but it does like to use Protect a lot, so I just continue spamming Flamethrower until I win. But get this, it was at low health, I decided to switch to Body Slam, and she actually swapped out of Pelipper into Altaria, so that actually kinda helped me, because that thing definitely would have resisted Flamethrower. Then at level 40, I get the opportunity to learn Amnesia, but I'm going to say no. We do need this move, but not right now though. We can get a Heart Scale to get it back later. But in that time explaining it, I end up defeating the Skarmory with Flamethrower, and Torkoal has now gotten the 6th gym badge. I will say though, I am definitely very worried about the Tate and Liza battle coming up. They're not as good as they are in Emerald version, but they're still going to be hard. Like, I gotta make sure I'm prepared. And by prepare, I mean fight a lot of the local trainers here. We're at the point of the game where they start having fully evolved Pokemon half the time. Plus, I do want to show this off right here. There are a few trainers in Ruby and Sapphire that can walk through walls if they see you. This gentleman right here, if I pick up the Pokeball and then run, he actually sees me and walks into the fence. Yeah, this can also happen with the Aroma Lady to the east of Mauville City, but I forgot to do it during the run so I couldn't show it off. I fought that guy just to make sure I showed y'all that trick. Or not really a trick, more like a glitch. It's pretty funny though. It was fixed at Emerald version though. Plus, while I'm in Lily Cove, I go ahead and get the TM for rest just in case I need it, as well as the PP up right here. I pretty much get rest and attract almost every run, just as emergency strats. And take a look at this, my repel actually ran out. I could not run away from a Tentacool. That should show you just how slow we are. I'm going to keep saying this like a broken record, but we are slow. But fortunately though, we're fast enough to climb up Mount Pyre, talk to Archie, and now we have to watch him steal the submarine, and then we have to go into the Aqua Hideout. But I do want to do something really quick. I go back left onto Route 121, and I surf down south of Mount Pyre onto Route 123. There is actually something I need here. One, I mainly want to do some extra training, and two, there are also some Lepa berries and an elixir here as well. I really need these for the late game. But here's the thing, I'm kinda terrified of these trainers, mainly for my Omega Ruby runs, because some of them have really good Pokemon, and that's honestly kind of a thing in this game too. Because check this out, I was fighting a cool trainer, right? And I got paralyzed by the Magneton, got devastating damage from the Wailmer, and then the Shiftry of all things ends up knocking me out, so I end up having to black out all the way back to Lily Cove. You know what? I think this is enough training. I'm just going to take this opportunity to just go do the Aqua Hideout. So yeah, instant teleportation in the overworld. Proper Pokemon speedrunning strats. And now with the Aqua Hideout cleared out, because it really was not that hard. I can surf my way over to Lily Cove City and then go enter the Shoal Cave here. The Shoal Cave is in high tide right now, and because of that fact, I'm actually able to get a bonus rare candy. I've only started getting this candy recently because I basically never go in here. Half the time, I forget the Shoal Cave even exists. And then I can go south of Mauville and fight a lot of the trainers leading up to Pacific Town. My goal is to do as much training as possible before Tate and Liza. I may end up using rare candies before them, we'll see. And also, I'm fighting Swimmer Rodney right here. His second Pokemon is actually a Gyarados, and it outspeeds me, and I realized I'm kinda screwed because I didn't heal, and the Gyarados defeats me with Dragon Rage, and because of that, I end up having to do another overworld teleportation back to Moss Deep City. So yeah, that was a little unfortunate, but I'm not done training yet. I haven't even gotten to Pacific Town, so I need to continue training. I do end up skipping that trainer though, but I do defeat the rest of them on this route. And then in Pacific Town, I can go ahead and take this Southern Current, fight this Black Belt right here, and then if I go in this upper area of the current, I can actually get a rare candy. But if you see that fisherman, that's Fisherman Ronald. He's the one with the 5 Gyarados. For some reason, he's here in Ruby and Sapphire, but in Emerald, they moved him to where the Black Belt was. It's kind of strange. but I do want to make sure I fight him for that juicy XP. And here is one of the odd things. He actually leads with a Gyarados instead of leading with the Magikarp. So Intimidate is always going to come through, but it's not like it matters, I have White Smoke. And now, I'm at the point where I need to just spam Body Slam for as long as I can and hope I can knock out his 5 Gyaradoses. So now with Fisherman Ronald defeated, I feel like I've had enough training. Let's go see how Tate and Liza do. I have the Torkoal equipped for this fight now, and I did use 5 rare candies to go from level 50 to 55. Let's see how well this works. The first thing I do is go ahead and use Flamethrower on the Solrock, and it actually does half damage. So the second one should be a 2-shot, I hope, unless it's a range, and it is not. Okay, so I go a 2-shot it. But here's the sad thing, the Lunatone gets me at so little health, and because it outspeeds, even though I burned it, I would have knocked it out the next turn. I get a reset on Tate and Liza. And here's another bonus thing I want to mention. The Solrock, you can't see it on my overlay because I don't have the double battles incorporated onto this overlay yet, but the Solrock does have Sunny Day. And if it uses Sunny Day, the ranges are going to become a lot more favorable because as you can see on the Lunatone, after one Calm Mind, Flamethrower is doing less than half. So I need to hope and pray that they use Sunny Day, otherwise I'm kind of in trouble. I do end up getting a second reset on them due to bad luck, but fortunately on the third try, I end up burning the Solrock and they're infinitely trying to spam all their Hyper Potions onto it, but you're just delaying the inevitable, my guys. So I go ahead and finally defeat the Solrock, and now I have the Mind Badge. And before we go take on the 8th gym leader Wallace, the leader of water types, I have to go into the seafloor cavern and defeat Archie. I also want to mention a weird little difference I noticed with the seafloor cavern in the original games compared to Emerald. The admin is actually a mandatory fight, while in Emerald it became an optional battle because they get lined up with another Aqua or Magma Grunt and become a double battle. And most of those mandatory double battles outside of gyms are sort of optional. Okay, now we need to go do the final battle with Archie. But still, this Sharpedo does not have a water move. And here's one thing, without access to Substitute, I am open to Swagger from the Mighty Yenna, and I don't have the Person Berry equipped for some reason. I guess I just decided Charcoal was more important. But now, we need to go run away from the Kyogre. I end up saving before this because this thing is way too slow to consistently run from Kyogre, and if it's not able to run, things end up going really bad really quick. Fortunately, I don't end up resetting because of it, and now we can go take on the 8th gym leader, Wallace. I am fighting Wallace with a moveset overhaul. My moveset is very Gen 2. It's Return, Curse, Rest, and Amnesia, and I'm also holding the Quick Claw. I also did fight all the trainers in his gym to get to level 57. The main plan here is to use some curses to boost my attack and amnesia to boost my special defense. So with my defense and special defense boosted, I'm essentially going to become a slow moving, invincible, unmovable object. So yeah, I'm just going to completely destroy Wallace's entire team. Although, a singular critical hit could easily ruin me right now. And normally, I'm the kind of guy that jinxes things as soon as I say them, like surely I won't get a crit, right? But this is pre-recorded, I know what's happening, I did not get a crit. So yeah, easy Rain Badge. And now we have all 8 badges of the Hoenn League. Now we need to go beat the Elite Four. But before we do that though, we need to go through Victory Road, and at the very end, take on Wally. For some reason in Ruby and Sapphire, the Wally fight is at the end of Victory Road, but in Emerald version it's at the beginning. Not really sure why they made that change between the games, but doesn't really matter either way though. Wally leads off with Altaria. I go ahead and use one curse followed by an amnesia. His Pokemon, Altaria, has an Aerial Ace and Dragon Breath, so a physical and a special move. So I gotta make sure I have an amnesia set up as well. And honestly, in return, it's making him do a lot more dragon dances, and it is refusing to stop dancing. While I'm sleeping, it sets up to +4, and Aerial Ace hardly does anything. Next up is the Delcatty. It does put me to sleep and it assisted the move Giga Drain off the Roselia, but fortunately it wasn't something like Psychic from the Gardevoir. So then I can defeat it, the Magneton, and the Roselia. Now for the Gardevoir. It uses Double Team, but Torkoal is a beast, it ignores the Double Team, and the Gardevoir is beaten. And now we are at the Pokemon League. I heal up at the center, buy some full restores, and before I take on the Pokemon League, I go around the region and get a couple more last minute candies. I get the Route 119 rare candy that needs the Acrobike. Fun fact, in Ruby and Sapphire there's a Kecleon blocking it, but in Emerald it's not there. Quite strange why they would change that. And then I can fly to Fall Arbor Town and then climb up this waterfall here and get another rare candy. And plus, for the last time, I am going to the move relearner. I am going to delete Return for Flamethrower. We really do not need access to Return anymore, and we need Flamethrower for the league. So now, with this change in moveset, we can now go ahead and take on the final 5 trainers. Let's do this shit. The first member of the Elite Four is Sydney. He leads off with Mightyena, White Smoke blocks the Intimidate like usual, and the first thing I do is set up 2 Amnesias and just sweep with Flamethrower. The reason I need the Amnesias is because his Sharpedo is the only one in the game, as far as I'm aware, that has a water move. It has Surf. And unfortunately, the Sharpedo gets its crit chances from Gen 1 with base speed, and the Surf actually crits me. So yeah, there's a quick reset in the league. Then on the second attempt, the Sharpedo basically just missed Swagger instead of going for Surf. Yeah, this is another fight where you would want the Person Berry. And I did get hit with Leech Seed from the Cacturn, but it's fine though. I'm able to just quickly defeat the rest of his team from there. Next up is the Ghost type Elite Four member, Phoebe. Here is one major problem with Phoebe in this game. Without the tutor for Substitute, if the Dusclops ever uses Curse on you, it's an immediate reset. There is nothing you can do about it. During the very first battle against Phoebe though, I go ahead and use Flamethrower and it one-shots. I can guarantee you, if that Dusclops wasn't a one-shot, it would have gone for either Curse or Confuse Ray. And then I could hit myself and it would hit me with Curse if it didn't already. So yeah, after that, her Ace Dusclops is a 2-shot, and then everything else after that is a 1-shot. Next up is the Ice type Elite Four member, Glacia. Glacia leads off with her Galele. It goes for Hail turn 1, and I use this opportunity to set up some Amnesias. I'm going to set up to only +4. We really do not need the third. Honestly, Amnesia is so busted, you only really need 2. 3 is just overkill. And the Galele does have Light Screen, but it's not going to really matter because I did get a second copy of Return from the old man in Pacific Log Town, and I deleted Flamethrower for it. So now our moveset is pure Gen 2 yet again, and with +5 attack and +4 special defense, I one-shot the Galele and her first Celio, but then guess what? Her Celio actually crit me and I almost died, but fortunately the second Celio just used Hail instead of killing me, so now I am able to actually hit it with Return. Although it does keep spamming Dive, just as I knock out the second Celio, it crit me with Dive last minute, which allowed the Wall Rain to kill me with Surf. Okay, I got multiple crits during that fight. That was so unlucky. It looked like nothing stupid was going to happen in the next battle against Glacia, but look at this. On her second Galele, at the very last minute, crit me with Crunch. What is this person? She is constantly critting me. And then look at this. On the third battle against Glacia, her Celio actually froze me, and since I don't have a fire move, I can't thaw myself out, and I end up getting a third loss on her. Dude, this is supposed to be an easy win with Curse and Amnesia strats. Quit doing this. Like seriously, just stop. And it looks like Glacia never even got the message. It just went straight to voicemail because guess what? Her wall rain actually crit me with Surf. What the fuck? Then on the next attempt, her first Glalie crit me with Crunch 2 times in a row while I was setting up Curse. Okay, I am really starting to hate this person now. Really starting to hate this person. Like, I'm getting mad just re-watching this. At 9 resets in though, I am finally able to win. I cannot believe almost half of my resets were because of crit and freeze luck on Glacia. Go fuck yourself, dude. Okay, next up is the Dragon type Elite Four member, Drake. This guy is going to be a lot easier compared to that hellfest that was the Glacia fight. On the Shelgon, it's doing almost no damage with Rock Tomb, and it'll never lower my speed, but it's not like it really matters because I'm lowering my own speed with Curse. But honestly, I think as I get to a lower speed, it's not really going to go for Rock Tomb, and instead might just go for like Dragon Claw or Crunch. But the main plan here is just get 4 Curses and 1 Amnesia. And now with the Quick Claw, I actually get a Quick Claw clutch on both of his Flygons and the Altaria. Can I get one on the Salamence as well? Nope, but I one-shot it anyway. So yeah, to make up for that awful luck against Glacia, I got 3 Quick Claw procs in a row, which is 20% in this game. So yeah, that was really lucky, followed by some really bad luck. Okay, and now before we take on Steven, we're going to replace Amnesia with Hidden Power Ground. We are finally going to see Hidden Power in action. Let's go ahead and finish this run, once and for all. Steven Stone leads off with Skarmory. I have the Quick Claw equipped and not something like a Pecha Berry because I can always use Rest to heal off the poison. The main plan here is to set up all 6 Curses, because if I don't get all 6 Curses set up, some of his Pokemon are gonna live, and that could potentially give him a chance to crit me or something like that. And believe me, Glacia had plenty of chances to do that, and she took every single one of them. But eventually, once I defeat the Skarmory with Return, the Armaldo is going to be a 2-shot with Hidden Power Ground, and the Metagross that follows it is a 1-shot. The Claydol has Levitate, so I can't use Hidden Power Ground, so I do use Return, but fortunately it used Light Screen instead of Reflect, which allows me to 1-shot the Aggron with Hidden Power. And then last up on the Cradily, I couldn't decide which move was better, but I decided Return was probably better. I do get confused though, and the Cradily is going to be a 2-shot. So yeah, this fight is just going really slow for me. But once I defeat the Cradily with a crit, last up is the Skarmory because he switched it out earlier. But now we get to level 70 and clock in with a real time of 1 hour, 33 minutes and 16 seconds with 9 resets, 9 blackouts at level 70 with a game time of 5 hours and 43 minutes. Yeah, if I didn't get that such awful luck against Glacia, this thing could have finished with like maybe just 4 resets. But still, that was insane with how often she was getting crits. It's like we were in Gen 1 all over again, where Torkoal got none, but the opponents got a buttload of them. But anyway, this Pokemon still did pretty good, surprisingly. I was actually kind of impressed. But if we take a look at the leaderboard, we actually get 8th place overall. We were slightly slower than Relicanth, but way faster than Steelix. And honestly, that makes sense, because Steelix also had really bad speed. It was also weak to water. And its only rock-type move was Rock Throw, because Rock Slide is an egg move, and the Rock Slide tutor is not in this game. And even if this was Emerald, the Rock Slide tutor is in the post-game. So yeah, it's only Fire Red and Leaf Green this thing would ever get access to Rock Slide. So yeah, Steelix was really bad. Plus, the slow level up group didn't help it at all. But anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this run. Please like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more. And be sure to follow me on my socials or support me through YouTube memberships. YouTube members get access to these videos early and the patch files for all the backboards we do on stream. Like I said, later in the week, we will be doing Pokemon Sapphire with Camerupt. But before that, we'll be doing this game with a few random Pokemon on stream. I will see you there, and I will see you all in the next video.